Hello, everyone, and welcome to the All Eyes on Paris series brought to you by The Athlete's Story, where you'll get up close and personal with the best beach volleyball players in the world as they head towards the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. I'm your host, Kerry Pothast, motivational speaker and storytelling coach. I also competed in 3 Olympic Games in the sport of beach volleyball, and I was fortunate enough to have the stars align back in 2000 when Nat Cook and I won gold at our home Olympics in Sydney. Now, we all know that storytelling brings big events like the Olympics alive and connects us with the competitors on a much more personal level, which is why All Eyes on Paris will be following the top players and delving into their personal journeys, uncovering their magic and helping you get to know them better, all while they are on their road to Paris. So whether you're a fan, an aspiring beach volleyball player, or you're just looking for some inspiration, get ready for an exhilarating journey into the world of these elite athletes. My guest this week is Dan Deering, the 34-year-old 6'6" blocker from Canada's #1 team. Silver medalist at the 2022 Commonwealth Games and gold medalist at the Nausicaa Beach Tour finals with his partner Sam Schachter, Dan's blocking prowess plays a huge role in his team's success. They are currently 21st in the provisional Olympic ranking and sitting right on the edge of qualification for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. He started his career as an indoor player in university, but soon found his way out onto the sand. And he jumped onto the World Tour in his early 20s. Injury unfortunately slowed his international progress for a few years, but he's back and he's stronger physically, mentally and emotionally and ready to take on the biggest athletic goal of his career, the road to Paris. Hi Dan, welcome to All Eyes on Paris.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. You're my first male beach volleyball player, the inaugural guy on my new show. So excited.
Wow.
So excited to hear
I'm on.
the stories
Thank you.
behind the glory. So where are you at the moment? What's going on for Dan Deering in the world of beach volleyball?
Myself and my partner Sam are here in Toronto. We've been working the last month, training at our indoor facility, fine-tuning our skills. We're heading to Los Angeles, California for a 2-week training camp to train with the top US teams and a couple international teams to get ready for our first tournament in Doha, which will be an Elite 16.
Yeah, it's not far away, is it?
No, it's not. Less than a month. Let's go.
So in your 30s, you've had quite a rapid rise in the last sort of 12 months. And it's when I say in your 30s, you're a bit of a comeback kid. But I want to get into that. I want to go all the way back to the beginning. How
Okay.
did you get into this sport? And obviously you played indoor for quite a bit before that.
I did. I loved indoor. I loved the team dynamics. I loved growing up playing indoor volleyball. Played 2 years at university, but there's just something inside of me that was like I can't help but want to control more of the game. Um, I had a hard time getting 6, 8, 10, 12 people on board, and I loved playing beach volleyball during the summer, competing here in Toronto and in Canada as much as we could, and having a partnership, having a relationship, having a brother. You really can hold each other to a high standard and grow together. And I loved the fact that you could have more control over the outcome of the game.
Yeah, I think that's what I loved about it the most too. I played indoor volleyball for Australia for 10 years before I even hit the sand. So I didn't start playing until my late 20s. So we have a kind of a
Wow.
similar story in that sense. So you represented Canada on the indoor floorboards?
Not with indoor, no, only through university.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
But at a pretty high level.
Yes, definitely. I could have went the indoor route for sure. I just decided to go beach.
Yeah. And you were an outside hitter?
I played multiple. I was definitely an outside hitter. I played right side for a few years. I even played libero for 1 year. That was fun.
Oh, fantastic. But you're never a setter.
Yeah. Nope. Always wanted to be, but no, never a setter. Only for Sam.
Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah.
I always wanted to be a setter too. I thought it's just again, it's about like having some control in the game, isn't it? Wanting to be part of every
Hmm.
play, which is what,
Running an offense, touching the ball every rally. Like, oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you went from indoor to beach. You kind of dabbled a little bit as a junior, and
Mhm.
then you played a little bit on the world tour. Then you had a big break. What happened there? What was the break, and why come back?
Yeah, very similar. I understand that you had a knee injury and therefore it kind of helped you lead your way down to beach. So I struggled with a knee injury as well. I was pushing myself to go for the 2016 Olympics. We were third in the country, chasing Sam and his old partner Josh Binstock, and we were really close to the bubble. And I was suffering from a knee injury, but I wasn't really saying anything. I kept it in silence. I was pushing. I was pushing. I was pushing. I felt the pressure, and knowing that we were close, decided to take a look at my knee. And the doctor says, nope, you got to shut it down or you're going to cause some injury that's going to withstand the rest of your life. And you don't want that. So decided to shut it down, took a full year off, no playing at all, just physio and workouts. And I reevaluated my life and I'm like, all right, maybe it's time to start like a career without volleyball. Still coaching because you love the game, you want to give back and share what you can for the kids, but started dabbling down some different fields of a career and was still in shape. I still loved the game. I was still around it partly, but nothing international. And then boom, Sam Schachter gives me a call. So that's kind of how it slided into it. Injury, going down a career path, and then when the top player in the country gives you a call saying, uh, "Get your ass back," then that's what I do. So
Yeah, that must have felt pretty cool. What was the best thing about having all that time off from like the high level?
I had this huge passion for the sport. And when it subsided and I stopped playing and competing internationally, I kind of try to find it somewhere else. I tried to find it in coaching and inspiring others. So I started working within my community. I started kind of paving the road towards them finding volleyball as the avenue to help them in sport, but to help them in life. And it wasn't quite all there. I was doing a good job. I was creating scholarships. I was getting kids to join club, make universities, go to college. It just wasn't like really filling me up. I was doing such a good job for other people, but and then boom, like this second shot comes around and I'm like, that this is it. There's no way I can say no to this or I'm going to live with regret. And learning from not loving it and missing it so much, I was able to harness all of that and know that this is the push, this is what needs to happen.
That is so cool. It's like your second time around, and you know that if you don't go through that door of opportunity, what are you going to have left over? It's like just a bit massive regret, unless you give it a bash, right?
Exactly.
So why did Sam call you? Did he give you some reasons? Did he say, "Hey, I think you're the best player for me," or were you just one of the leftover players when everything, teams had changed around, or what were Sam's kind of reasons behind that?
I was still part of the scene, even though I wasn't traveling and competing for the country. I was still playing in local tournaments on the east and west coasts of Canada, but I was working with a private personal trainer. I was kind of doing my own avenue, not working with the national team. And I started to develop my own good habits and I was strong. And I was always a little bit of a question mark. Oh, Daniel can play well for a month and then he's injured for a little bit. He can play well for a month, but he's not pushing himself in the weight room. It was like, I don't know what to expect. So over the years, Sam saw that I was becoming a man and started to be like, wow, like really started opening his eyes, being like, Dan has kind of always been the guy, but now he really seems focused. So I think that really helped for him to see that looking at his options, he definitely didn't want to retire after Tokyo. And he was like, you know what? If this is what I want, I'm going to give him a call and let's see if, he lit the fire under my butt and the choice was mine. And ever since then, him and myself have been pouring gasoline on it. So, um, yeah, that was the process. It definitely sparked something inside of me, and knowing all the lessons of injury and recovery and a better mindset and kind of figuring out who you are, I was able to come full throttle and do it again for the second time, and I'm super grateful for that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like when those opportunities come along and you get that second chance, it's like gratitude is just so much easier because sometimes we come through the ranks of volleyball and we just take it for granted that okay, I'm here and then I'm here and then I'm here, but obviously every single day that you're out on the sand and every moment that you're traveling internationally, you can feel it even more, that gratitude, which I think makes such a really strong partnership as well. The fact that he saw that in you and then
Mhm.
he gave you that opportunity. It's such a wonderful story. How would you describe your game?
Well, I'm very explosive. I'm very physical. I understand my strengths. I'm a big jumper. I play with a lot of passion. I'm very emotional on the court. Um, and before, when I was a junior, like you said, I struggled with consistency of work ethic in the gym, being present on the court while working through finer tuning skills. I'll get better maybe one or two practices a week, but with the mindset I have now, um, I'm very focused. I'm very disciplined and very consistent. And then that foundation first, adding the passion and the emotion and the explosiveness, I didn't realize how much more stronger I could get with a foundation of those important words. And going through, resiliency and adversity with injury, you start to realize how precious the time is on the court and how every second matters, every practice matters. Um, so adding those two things together, my strength, explosiveness, my jump, my passion, now with, you know, discipline and consistency and fine tuning passing and fine tuning little skills. I'm the strongest I've ever been. And I'm excited to show this year in the world that.
Wow, that's amazing. How would you describe yourself off the court? Any different?
uh, yeah, I'm a listener. I'm an observer. I don't speak that much. I only speak when someone asks me to speak or when they ask for advice. I'm very much like an analogy and a perspective kind of person. People will come to me when there's a little issue happening in their life. They'll come to me when they need a positive perspective. They'll come to me when a little bit of adversity hits their way, and I'm able to kind of calm them down and let them see the light in the dark. Um, I'm really like silly and goofy with my fiance. Again, just based on the experiences that you learn in sport, you start to realize that you can find passion even in the small little things that you do in life. Like, yeah, if it's like a boring task, well, I'm not a boring person, so I'm going to make that task exciting. So I'm definitely I live every day and I like to have fun. I like to make every moment, every transition in life count. And I'm quiet. I'm quiet unless I'm having a pretty deep emotional conversation. I'm not really the type to talk about the weather or talk about how the Toronto Raptors are doing. I want to talk about something meaningful. So
Yeah.
if it's not meaningful, I really won't say much.
So does that work well with Sam? Is he similar to you or is he completely different? Like how do you gel as a partnership?
he we're different, but we're also the same. And let me explain that. We're different because Sam is very like outgoing, funny. He's a great storyteller. He draws in like a crowd. He can hear a story and then tell it better the second time. Um, and I'm pretty like emotional, and I'm a thinker. I think a lot before I say something. So I think in that aspect, I learn from him. He learns from me. Um, and then definitely being partnered with Sam, I've learned a lot more about discipline and consistency and showing up. He's like a robot sometimes. It doesn't matter what mood you're in, doesn't matter if you're tired or you have energy, you get the job done. So having him as a partner and his strengths have helped a lot in my game. And I think off the court, having me as a partner has helped him, maybe a little bit on the court, but definitely more so off the court with just enjoying the journey more
Yeah.
than the destination.
I really love that. I mean, you're in a similar situation, I guess, in Canada as we are in Australia. There aren't that many players to choose from at the top level, like some countries, United States, obviously they have a plethora of players to kind of choose from, although they probably say they don't either, but they do, more so than we do. But when you find a really good match, and I used to say Natalie and I were very different, but we had the same goal. We had so many similarities in the way we went ahead towards our goals. So it wouldn't have mattered, if you find the best two players in the world, if you can't gel in that sense or make it work. But yeah, I think it's the benefit of the maturity, I guess, of the both of you, and the maturity and from different backgrounds too. The fact that he has been playing and has that experience, and you had that time off, and evaluated everything. So I love that. I love that about your partnership. What's his best attribute?
Say that again, Carrie.
What's Sam's best attribute, do you think?
He's funny.
Is he?
He's funny. Yeah, he's funny. Yeah, even in moments where, I don't know, we're struggling to get conditioning done, or we're in a layover in an airport, or we're trying to get food and can't find it, he'll just create a better environment. He'll make everything funny and positive. Um, and
That's
then on the court, you just see him like he's just so focused. You see the 16 years of his experience pay off. Again, I'm such an observer that I can just watch him and be like, all right, like, let's go. He's in, I'm locked in. And now, because we've been a partner for over 2 years now, we hold each other accountable to that. Yeah, he's pretty funny.
I think it's so important to have that humor in,
Mhm.
your lifestyle every single day. I mean, obviously as elite athletes, you have to be so focused, but to have that bit of humor and to make it fun, that was one of our rules as well. We had a plan, and in every section of our plan, we had to have fun and enjoy that whole journey, because at the end of the day, you don't want to look back and go, well, yeah, we got a medal or we qualified for the Olympics or whatever it is, but gee, that last 4 years was just the worst 4 years of my life. You don't want to do
No,
you
yeah.
want you want to have a good time along the way, and you'll be buddies for the rest of your life because of the shared experience. Who
Hmm.
else apart from Sam is on your team?
My fiance supports me with all the decisions and sacrifices that we make as athletes. She's there for me on good days and bad days. We have a coach, Sir John Vetzko. He's really expanding our game and challenging our standards and expanding our capacity. He's such a good coach. He pushes us every day, and I wouldn't want it any other way. We butt heads sometimes, but it's all in good faith. We're on the same goal. We're on the same page. And you got to have some fight in you as a coach and as an athlete. And then the sand doesn't care. That's what he says. He goes, sand doesn't care. Like, do your stuff, do your work. At the end of practice, at the end of the match, we can talk, we can discuss it, we can figure it out. But you know, it's time to work. It's time to get better. Um, he's part of our team and always has been. And as an athlete, the impact that sponsors have on us, right? They're in our corner. They support us. They want to help us. I think they understand the grind and the sacrifices that we make in representing our country. Um, the financial support helps a lot, especially with the independency of flights, and we have a lot. It's a lot to do. We're also very good at admin work, and we're we can set up a whole itinerary for a whole bunch of people with these skill sets. But and our community, like, there's a small little group net of Toronto beach volleyball players that love us and support us, and when we have time, we like to coach and give back, to do little clinics. So yeah, we have we have a big we have a small team. We have a little bubble that all the hard work and sweat and blood and tears happen in that small circle, but we're we're supported.
Yeah, I love that. We
Yeah.
we talked about like all being on a rocket ship, and the two of you are at the top. You're the ones steering that ship, but there's so many people on board with you, that fuel that whole journey. Yeah, it's so cool. So speaking of like your game, the men's game has changed immensely in the last, 18 months, and because of a
It
couple
has.
of from Sweden, particularly.
Oh yeah,
I know when you first came out, it was a little bit like when you had to
it
play these
was.
guys, it was like, what the, this is different to what I did
Yep.
a few years ago.
Yep.
How much, well, easier has it gotten in the last 12 months that now teams are starting to perhaps work it out? Is it still that crazy hard to work out how to play these guys or how to play like these guys? Are you starting to do some of those things yourself? Like, talk to me a little bit about what's been happening in the last 12 months on the men's side.
Yeah, just to touch back on your point, when I first came back with Sam, we qualified for a main draw, and the second team that we played was Sweden. And as a blocker, oof, coach is giving us the game plan, and it was 2 to 3 times larger than any other game plan I've ever had back in 2014, 2015. So the game has gotten a lot faster, and it's yeah. Um, Yeah, Sam and I have are definitely working behind closed doors to incorporate this new um, type of fast game, and because we're incorporating it, the next generation's incorporating it here in Canada. We're getting into those live situations when before we're getting starstruck, we're getting caught off guard by these phenomenal young athletes that are still very big, large, and strong, and are able to move the ball so well. We just need some more time and some experience and facing them and in the game ourselves. But it's gotten a lot faster. But now it seems like we've caught up to that fast pace, and now again we're ready to take on a team that can move the ball that fast, and we hope that the team that faces us aren't as prepared as what they expected from us in previous years. So it'll be exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be a good year. It's going to be interesting to see what everybody's doing, has been doing behind closed doors, and brings out onto the sand. So, do you think that
Hmm.
there's another level of evolution, like in the game? Like, what's next? Because 5 years ago, there's no way
Yeah.
people would be doing what they're doing now on the sand, especially in the men's game. Is there any more stretch?
No. Yeah. I like not the rules, but there's a little bit more leniency now with jump setting and allowing like everything before had to be square and up and down. Like when your era and a little bit after that, like on the men's side, what I would watch would be like Phil and Todd. It would be, oh, don't serve the big guy. You got to go small guy. And his game would be very like up and down, crafty, slimy. And now it doesn't matter if you're 6'1" or 6'10. Everyone's fast, everyone's dynamic, the passing in the game, because from 1996 till now, the evolution of people can pass and set now at the same time in the first contact. So, and Sweden has proved that it doesn't matter how hard you serve or how
Mhm.
smart you serve, they can still establish a two ball. So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
was
the
going to
next
ask you.
thing for the game,
Yeah, I
I
was
don't,
going to ask you, like, do you think serving is going to be the key to try and neutralize, the amazing attacking of the big guys, the short guys, the fast stuff, the up and down, everything, as everybody's getting stronger and taller and bigger? Is it serving that's going to maybe have to change and get better?
definitely. I think with teams that can establish such a fast offense and such a threatening two ball, you're gonna have to spend more time from the baseline establishing a very like not 2 out of 3, 3 out of 3. Good pace over the net, high contact, and lots of power, whether it's a float or a spin. Um, and just more work from the service line to get these guys out of system on the second and the third contact. Um, and then you have, magicians like Karambula and Horst that are now establishing like a fake jump and like a hit set. And I'm like, what? Like that could be the next evolution of the game where you're trying to hold that blocker even longer and start setting with like a hit. I've seen multiple reels, but you never know, because if you look back 15 years ago and you'd be like, oh, there's going to be a young Sweden team that comes out and just establishes a two ball that's just remarkable, you'd be like, yeah, there's no way. And then boom, they proved it. So you never know what could happen. You never know.
Yeah, it's quite exciting. On that, what
Hmm.
is your favorite skill of the game and why?
I've always loved passing.
Ah,
It's it's when you teach kids how to pass and university pass, I don't know, there's something about having control over the first contact. Um, Having a great pass, you're setting yourself up for more success with a better set and a better attack. So I'm explosive and I jump well. Eh, I need a pass. I need a pass to make sure that I can use that strength even better. I love a good technical practice with a one-on-one with a coach, where constantly passing, 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 passing. Um, yeah, I don't get bored of it.
Yeah.
Um, I
That's
love, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting because I remember when the game changed from normal like scoring to rally points scoring, our coach said,
Mm.
right, now we have to just get really good at siding out. We're just going to pass and set. So I think for 12 months after that, this is 2000 games, all we did was pass and set. Like it got to the
Wow.
point where we're like, what are we doing today? Passing and setting, passing and setting, passing and setting. And our side out got so much more consistent. But yeah, I agree with you. You know, we again, when we get more and more experience, we tend to think that we have to add all these fancy things to our games, but you do have
Mm.
to go back to just the simple stuff.
Hmm.
So let's talk about your road to Paris now. So you are ranked right now just out of the like the top the provisional
Correct.
Olympic ranking. Where
Correct.
are you? What do you need to do to push up? And how many events do you have to do that in?
Yeah. So we've done the math. We're 21st out of being in the top 17. Our goal is to get in there first. No continental tour, no second avenue. Um, we need another 5 results of over 600 points. So that's a fifth at a challenger, or better. Um, if we get those 5 results of over 600 points, we're going to feel comfortable being in the top 17. Um, and we're preparing for that. That's our goal. Um, that's our goal, but our coach is constantly pushing us and working with us like every day where yes, in the back of our mind, when you're tired, you're fatigued, you're working hard, and you need to pass that one more rep, it's like, yeah, it's 24-23 and you're in the pre-quarter and this gets you that result. Like that's the mindset that I'm trying to put myself in every day. Um, and just we've been working so hard, and that's what I kind of love about the game is you do so much hard work behind the scenes and then you're just a product that goes onto the court and you go out there and you have to earn it. So we're thinking a lot more on just performing. Go out there and perform. Be present and perform, and the results will come.
Yeah.
Um,
Do
but
you
you always have to have your goal in mind.
Yeah.
So
Do you feel that as a pressure right now, or are you feeling a bit anxious, or are you relaxed about it? Will that'll probably change throughout the season depending on your results.
it,
But yeah, how are you feeling about that now? Because it's really only it's less than 6 months, 5 months of events, really.
yeah,
I suppose.
it's close but far, but close.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, it's. I think we're going through the stages. We've worked really hard the last 4 weeks. This week being our fifth week, we feel good. We feel confident. We feel strong in many skill sets that we're working on. Then going outside, you kind of have to give yourself a little bit more patience. There's going to be wind. There's going to be sun. There's going to be better American teams, right, than here in Canada. Hey, we just got to go out there with our consistency and our work ethic, and constantly reevaluate the game as you do. Um, yeah, so we're feeling strong and we're feeling good. And then
Uh,
after we go to Los Angeles, again, talk about it, evaluate it, just perform.
Yeah, that's going to be the big word, perform. I remember
Yeah.
going for my third Olympic Games. I played with a different partner. I came out of retirement and I
Hmm.
decided that I'd try and qualify for the Athens Olympics. And we did it in we only had 6 months. We only had like literally one season to do it in. And we only had
Wow.
to get 8 results. And we started the season, there were only 8 tournaments. to be played. So we literally had to perform, and it was just point by point, game by game, tournament by tournament, and it went down to the very last tournament where we won
Mhm.
3 or 4 of the matches to get through to the finals of that tournament, like 15-13. And
Wow.
it was just so much stress. But I don't know, I just, the pressure, it's, if you love it, you've got to love the pressure, you've got to love that
Yep.
stress, because that's the beauty of our sport, and things can change so quickly, can't they?
They can. They can. That's why it's so, again, blessed and grateful and passionate. Things can change, opportunities can present themselves. But I've always, well, when I was a junior, I can look back at myself now and be like, I didn't have it in me. When it got tough, I would quit. Like, not quit, but quit in that day, quit in that moment.
Mm.
And then when the pressure's on, it's just you and your mind. And what do you revert back to? The doubt and the quit, and well, then you've lost. And then now I'm putting that pressure, 13-13, 14-13 down in the third set, and I'm like, no, I've done the work, let's go. And it's like the pressure's always there, but it's like, what's the fuel to get you to think like, I can do this? Or you look back to your old habits. Did you miss that set? Did you miss that rep? Did you not show up that practice? It's like, no, I've showed up every practice. Let's go. And then that's the battle. Which team will win is the team that's put in the most work, who can deal with that pressure and can just be such a great product on the court.
Yeah, I love that. Our Canadian coach, Steve Anderson.
Yeah.
Well, he was Canadian
Yeah.
for a while, but American and Canadian.
Hmm.
He used to say to us, you've done the work. That was one of the things he'd say to us, in preparation. And it is so true, that the reminder of the fact that, yeah, you've done everything that you need, or that you were supposed to do, that you needed to do, you know.
Hmm.
So the belief part of it, I think for me, is the final piece of the puzzle. Like, you can do all the physical work, you've got the experience, you're bringing all the emotion and the passion. How much, of, let's say, if there's a percentage, how much do you think belief comes into winning?
I think it's very important. I have this tattoo on my wrist,
Oh,
believe.
wow.
And it wasn't until I was about 28 years old until I really, truly started to believe in myself. And belief is definitely part of the foundation of when you're, it's easy to believe in yourself when things are going well. It's no
Mm.
problem. It's when you're achy and you're hurting here and you're out of breath and you're not feeling 100%, or there's something causing you to let external things come in. It's like in those moments, that's when you need to believe in yourself. And that happens with practice, with habits of in practice, doing conditioning, doing workout. It's like, oh, I don't think I can do this rep. That's when you need belief.
Hang on
So,
a sec.
I
Gigi, come here, come here. there's some cats fighting outside, and the dog's going, but Gigi, come here.
I want back on your lap, mama. Come on.
Oh, she's just run outside.
Oh.
Um, yeah, I love that. I mean, belief is so very important. How do you, or did you, or have you built that belief in yourself, other than the tattoo, which is the constant daily reminder, isn't it? I mean,
Hmm. Yes, it is.
I know, I think it's so amazing. And I'm not saying to all the kids out there, go get tattoos, but it's about being reminded every single day of what you need to do. And belief is so big. How did you build your
Correct.
belief?
With this second opportunity. Um, and during the pandemic, I really got to conquer some fears and some things that I needed to build as a man and build my character. Um, when I stopped playing, I did such a great job building belief in other people. I was very good at that, inspiring them, telling them they can do it, pushing them, getting them to grow. And then I had to take a look at myself and be like, do you believe in yourself? you're so good at helping other people, but I had to reflect on it. I had to reflect on it. And then the opportunity came when Sam called me to believe in myself to play volleyball, to go back there and do it properly, to do it 100% with all eyes on Paris. And especially in the last 2 months, every decision I make is all eyes on Paris. But yeah, belief has been huge for me. Um, and I'm kind of transitioning into like not believing like in myself anymore because now it is. I do believe in myself, and nothing's going to change that. It's more like now creating the day. It's not like, oh, have a great day. No, create a great day. Like create an extremely hard practice for yourself. Go out there and create it. Do it. So belief is now part of my foundation. And over the years and learning, I've learned to it's part of me. And
Mm.
sometimes when there's hard days, um, you think back and you maybe doubt it for a little bit and you're like, but no, I've done the work. I've done the work. So
What I
for
love
those
about
that,
that, yeah, what I love it. Sorry to interrupt you. What I love about
no,
that
not
is
at all.
you're always evolving as well.
Mm,
Like, you know, you've got
yes.
a belief and now you're up to now you like create the day and in a few years time it'll evolve again. Um
Hmm.
Again, I remember one of our sayings was how can we make it better? And that was kind of always looking forward instead of spending time, you know, looking back of what just happened, whether it was a lost point or a mistake we made or on or off the court, whatever, how can we make it better? And then over the
Hmm.
next 12 months when we got really good at kind of having that mindset, it became how can I make us better? So it was looking at
Mm,
a greater opportunity to sort of do more for our team. So yeah, I love that. I love all the different
amazing.
that all partnerships work on because every partnership is different, right? Some people have
Definitely.
instant chemistry, some people have no chemistry and they work so hard to keep their partnership together to get to their goal. So you have to work
Hmm.
on things. um just a couple more things before I let you go because I know your time is so precious. Obviously your
Yours too.
goal thank you. Obviously your goal for Paris is
The goal for Paris?
yeah.
I would love a fifth. I would love a fifth at Paris. Um, I'm speaking with like our sports psych about why I can't like picture myself winning a gold medal. But before, again, as we evolve, it was like, yeah, I just want to go to the Olympics. And it's like, no, now it's I'm going to the Olympics and I'm going to upset teams because of my growth and get a fifth. So hopefully in 5 to 6 months, I will evolve again to where I'm like, no, I'm going to be standing on that podium. And I'm constantly fighting with even Sam. His mindset's, I think, maybe a bit more than mine, but I'm just like, I see Norway, I see Czech, I see Sweden, and I'm like, you know what? I can put up a good, solid match against those guys, but might come out short. But I'm looking at the teams, below top five in the world, and I'm like, you know what? With what we're doing and what we believe in, and how we're going to get there, we're gonna beat those teams when it comes. So a 50 Olympics right now is huge. Um,
It's
and getting there like through the front door. We're not no continental, nothing like that. Top 17, here we go. And then anything can happen at the Olympics. Anything.
That's exactly right, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
you could have the
Yep.
best day of your life and the best team in the world could just be
Yep.
off a little bit. Boom. It's
Yep.
all up.
And even statistically, you always have that one team that's like 23rd or 21st or 18th that end up making the semi. It's like you never know. But
The door is open for everyone. Well, I just
yes
want
it
to thank you
is.
so much. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you, and I hope
Me
everybody's
too.
gleaned a little bit of Dan Deering magic. I
Well,
will.
I have a question for you as well.
Oh, okay.
Like, sure, I know myself and I know my story, and but I look at myself, I'm like, oh, I'm so honored that you asked me to be a part of your show because I don't have that many accolades. I don't have FIVB medals. I'm not an Olympian. I've been doing this journey. I have a story, but why me?
That's a great question, and I have the answer for that. I think it's
Okay.
because of your kindness, and basically I got to know more about you at the Commonwealth Games. You were there with Sam, you won the silver
Hmm.
medal. Unfortunately lost to the Aussies. I was
To
commentating.
Australia.
Yeah. I was commentating every match at the Com Games, so I got to know your game and a little bit about you there. But I think it's just been since then, every time there's been any communication on social media or whatever, you're so kind and so, you're so generous with your comments and just, what you put out to the world. And I think when people do that, things come back to them. So that is why I asked you on today. And I
Oh
was
wow.
also curious about your story and how that break in time has affected you. And I think I also connected with you because we have a similar story with the injuries and the break and the coming back and now getting to know you even more, the belief that you've built and the journey that you're on to Paris. So yeah, that's why I
Oh,
asked you.
thank you for sharing that. Means a
Yeah,
lot.
that's an absolute pleasure, and I wish you guys so much luck.
Thank you.
My ex-husband, my husband Max, is a Canadian,
Hmm.
so
Okay.
my son who's 17, who while I've been doing this, got himself ready for school and has just walked out the door. But
Okay.
he's playing volleyball now. He could end up in a college in Canada,
You
playing
never
volleyball.
know.
Who knows? He
Give us
absolutely.
a call. We can help them.
Yeah, well, he absolutely loves the sport, beach and indoor. So, yeah, he's very excited to watch all you guys too as you go on the road to Paris. So, best of luck, Dan, and your partner Sam, and I'll see you in France.
Yes, that's the goal. Thank you so much, Gary.
All right, stop.